Radio Telefíséireann, this is RTÉ One, where we now join Miriam O'Callaghan and Brian Dobson for a news special about today's digital switchover.
And a very good morning to you and welcome to our special programme this morning, where in a few minutes we'll be switching off the old analogue television signal and moving to the new digital television service in line with broadcasters across Europe. We'll be joining Miriam O'Callaghan shortly in RTÉ's National Transmission Monitoring Centre, where the old system will at 10 o'clock sharp be switched off and the new digital service will take over. If you're still unsure of how all this will affect you and your television viewing, you can give the helpline a call. It's still operating and will continue to operate for some time to come. There's the number on your screen, 1890 222 012, 1890 222 012, or you can check out the website at www.serveu.ie. Later we'll go over to Mary Kennedy in Studio One and hear from the Minister for Communications Pat Rabbitte and RTÉ's Chairman Tom Savage. I'm joined here in studio by Mary Curtis, who's Director of the Switchover Project, and by Brian Geraghty, who's RTÉ's Digital Reception Manager. We'll speak to them in just a moment. In Northern Ireland, first of all, the digital switchover has already taken place. It was last night. Olympic pentathlon hero Dame Mary Peters turned off what was the last remaining analogue television service in the UK at midnight. More than 200,000 households across Northern Ireland will be able to watch Freeview television for the first time today. Well, before we go over to Miriam at 10 o'clock for the switchover, let's have a quick word with our guests here in the studio. As I say, we're joined by Mary Curtis and Brian Geraghty. Thanks indeed for joining us this morning. It's the end of a long road, I know, for both of you. Brian, what actually will happen now in a couple of minutes' time?
In a few minutes' time, Brian, the analogue services right throughout Ireland will switch off. So anybody who receives their TV through an aerial, if they haven't already made the switch to digital, they'll lose their TV in a few minutes' time. Right.
The digital service has actually been operating, hasn't it? So people who already were geared up for it, that's how they're getting their TV.
Yes, Serveu is on the air for 18 months now, and the majority of households affected have already made the switch. But there are still a number of viewers who will need to do something today, or, well, they'll be without TV in the next few minutes.
Mary, can we estimate how many people still haven't made this switch over, and I mean, whose televisions will go dark at 10 o'clock?
It's very hard to estimate. Our last figures are the Nielsen figures from August, which at the time said 200,000 households needed to switch. We know from retail, because we're in constant contact with the retailers and the manufacturers, that business is very, very busy. So we also know that people have been buying the boxes but may not have plugged them in or installed them yet. So we will have figures next week, but along with other jurisdictions in other countries, we know that today will be very busy, as will the next couple of days, and we will have figures next week.
If you get your television through satellite or through a cable provider, there's nothing for you to do. It's done. No. It's done for you. It's only if you have the aerial on the roof. Or
if you receive your television through an aerial, then Serveu is for you.
Right. And if you haven't taken action, you can still contact our helpline, and it's not too late. I mean, you're not.
No, not at all. And we have the helpline, we have the website, we have a number of tutorials on the website. We have lots and lots and lots of information. So for anybody who's concerned, confused, or wants information, the resources and the assistance is there.
All right. Well, let's hand over now to Miriam in the transmission centre with about a minute and a half to go, I think, Miriam.
Yeah, thanks a million, Brian. I am in this room in RTÉ. I've never been here before. This is where I'll be switching it off. This is the mouse on which I'm going to switch off the analogue signal. I'm joined here by Mick Keogh, who's the man with responsibility for monitoring all the transmitters on every mountain in Ireland. Mick, tell me about these screens behind us.
Well, basically the screens on the left hand side there are the 4 analogue services. These are the ones you're going to be switching off in 1 minute and 2 seconds. And then here on the right hand side are the new digital services. There's the terrestrial Serveu service, and then there's also the StairSat service, the satellite solution. And between both those services now, there's a free-to-air solution available at the rooftop of every home in the country for the first time. So,
and it's not an exaggeration to say you do literally monitor in here every transmitter on every mountain in this beautiful country of ours. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, you can see some of the computers here in front of us, and they're obviously connected to the mountain tops via microwave radio links and via fibre optic cables and stuff like that. And then it's all fed into various software programs, and then the engineers sit here and monitor it, and they can switch sites on, off, services up, down, and power things up and down, and keep a good eye on it from here, make sure nothing is going wrong.
And we've got 20 seconds to go now, Mick. Is it a big day for all of you guys in here?
It's a big day. We've been looking at this for quite a number of years, so it's great that it's happened, and we're now hit the
10 seconds. 9,
7, 6, 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch.
And there we have it.